Hi everyone, I'm Xiaoying. In this video, I'll be talking about the models of visual word recognition part 2. The models that I'm going to introduce today is the Logogen model and the interactive activation model. The Logogen model was designed by John Morton in the 1969. So, before I introduce the model to you guys, I would like to ask, do you know what is the Logogen? Logogen is a device which accepts information of the visual units, such as the semantic, phonological, and orthographic that allow us to recognize one specific word. As the diagram shows, the Logogen model is activated in two ways, by the sensory input, which are our visual and auditory, and by the contextual information. When a person receives the visual or auditory input, the Logogen will start to accumulate evidences until it reaches the threshold level. When this happens, the word is recognized. The threshold level of a word is influenced by the frequency effects and the context effects. For example, the words cat and court. The word cat is a more common word that we will use it more frequently than the word court. Therefore, the word cat will have a lower threshold level than the word court. Context increases the activation of the Logogen. As you can see in the diagram, when the activation of the Logogen rises above the threshold level, the corresponding response will go to the response buffer, where they will emerge as actual responses, and therefore, the threshold level is reduced. Next, the interactive activation model, also known as the interactive activation and competition, was proposed by McLaren and Rumelhart in the 1981 to account for Rachel's word superiority effect. The word superiority effect refers to the phenomenon that people recognize letters presented within the word better compared to isolated letters and letters that appear within a string of non-words. The basic assumptions of the interactive activation model. First, perception occurs in a multi-level processing system. Second, deeper levels of processing are accessed via intermediate levels. 3. Processing is interactive. And last one, information flow is continuous. This assumption proposes that there are three levels of process: a visual feature level, a letter level, and a word level. This assumption was proposed on the basis of the word superiority effects, assuming that a letter level is interposed between the feature and the word level because words appear to be defined in terms of the sequences of letters. In the diagram below, the letter E in READ is perceived better than in AEDR because of the sequences of the letters. This assumption means that the interactive activation model involves the simultaneous consideration of both bottom-up input information and top-down knowledge-based constraints in recognizing words. This assumption is required in order to capture contextual influences in word recognition. The reason is that if the word level is to influence processing at the letter level, then the letter level must be making information available to the word level before processing at the letter level is complete. The process of the interactive activation model. In the visual feature level, there is a set of units that serve to detect features in each of four letter positions, and each set contains units for detecting the presence and absence of each of the line segments. In the letter level, there are four sets of letter units, and each set contains a unit for each of the 26 English alphabet letters. At the word level, there is a single set of detectors for each word. The connections between levels. Each unit is connected to each unit in the level immediately before and after it. Each of these connections is either excitatory or inhibitory. The excitatory connections between units on different levels that are mutually consistent, while the inhibitory connections between units on different levels that are mutually inconsistent. The overall framework of the connections. First, there are no feedback connections that are inhibitory. Second, there is no feedback at all from the letter level to the feature level. Feature to letter excitation. As you can see in the diagram, the present unit for the horizontal bar at the top of the letter position is connected to all the letters with this feature. Feature to letter inhibition. Feature units have inhibitory connections to all of the letter units that do not contain the feature. Letter to word excitation. As you can see in the diagram, each letter unit has excitatory connections to each of the word units that contains the letter in the appropriate position. Letter to word inhibition. Each letter unit has inhibitory connections to each of the word units that do not contain the letter in the appropriate position. Word to letter excitation. As you can see in the diagram, each word unit has excitatory connections to the units for all the letters in the word. In conclusion, there are three models of visual word recognition. First, the serial comparison model, which is Foster's search model. Second, the parallel comparison model, which is the Logogen model, and the connectionist model, which is the interactive activation model. Thanks for watching.